Welcome to Beauty Business Matters. I'm your host, Susan Routledge. And I have I always say I've got a very special guest, but today I have got a very, very special guest. Anyone who's in the entrepreneurial world will probably already know Shari Teigman, but I just feel so privileged to have Shari here as a guest. Shari spends half her time in New York, half her time here, and creates the most magical Maverick time, I think, with people.
Thank you.
And I need to know what a Maverick is. So, Shari, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm equally as honored to be here. So thank you.
Oh, wow. So we are going to do this over 2 episodes because now I've got you pinned down.
Yes.
Because you're so
I know
busy.
the trains. I'm here. We're here. We're in it.
Yeah, we're here. So we're going to do one episode where I just want to know all about you and say about where this Maverick thing came from. And then the second one, we're going to delve a lot deeper into the entrepreneurial world and where things go right, where things go wrong. And I know you see it from so many different angles because you are coaching, dealing with so many different entrepreneurs. So, Shari, where did this all start?
My imagination, Susan. That's the only place it could have started. Actually, you know what? I couldn't even dream this big. So my business started 12 years ago. I was a single mom of 2 amazing boys who are now adults, kids in my head, but actual adults, strangely. And I had come out of a tough divorce and a tough situation. And I knew what I didn't want, but I didn't know what I wanted, which was a strange place for me because I've always been creative and bubbly and extroverted. So, but I used that I was an artist. I was a makeup artist for 20 years. I don't even know if you know that.
No.
I was a makeup artist for 20 years. I did mosaic art for a long time when my kids were young. So always creative, always doing things with my hands. And ironically, with mosaics, you take things, you break them apart, and you make them beautiful again. And on my own healing journey from my divorce and figuring out what I wanted my life to look like, I don't do things halfway. So I did a year-long teacher training for yoga, and I did a year-long coach training. I had hired a coach myself because I knew I didn't want a therapist who just went over where I've been. I had trauma. I worked on it. I was proud of myself for getting out of it and being the mom I wanted to be to my kids. So I didn't want to sit in the past, but I didn't know what the future looked like. So someone said, try a life coach. I said, well, I don't know what it is, but I like the name of it. And I absolutely loved working with the person. More importantly, I loved the field. Like, I've been doing this my whole life for free. I had no idea. So people always came for advice with me, and my brain works very creatively. So I can see things in a completely different way that someone else does. And that's what's made my work so good, because someone will come to me and I can take the puzzle pieces apart, put it back together, and it's still their idea. Like, I don't believe in the templates or it needs to look like this or you have to march in line. I believe the actual opposite. But if we understand ourselves better, we can come to our businesses a better CEO, a better leader, a better manager, and also a better visionary, which we don't always do that dance well. So I started coaching. I did my training online, and I was based in New York. I'd never been in England in my life. And ironically, my best friend was from London who lived in New Jersey. So I had never even been, but she got me a Cockney book. I learned all the phrases. I knew I was ready for this. So I got my degree in coaching. And at the time, Facebook was like the Wild West. You could just hop on and say, hi, 5 openings for clients. And it worked. It was before it was so oversaturated. And my first few clients happened to be British in one of these business groups. And they fell in love with me and I fell in love with them. And there was just something about this New Yorker, I'm like you, but I'm not like you. So people trust me in a different way because I don't remind them of someone that they know. And I think very big and I speak very quickly. So I think people are drawn to the sameness, but different. Is like, I want a piece of that, but without all the American over the top, everything's always perfect. I'm really a realist. I'm not a positive person by nature. I'm pretty New York jaded. So like when someone brings something to me, I'm not going to positive affirmation away at them. Like, we work in deep problems. I do deep work with people. We also make it playful and fun. So it started with British clients and it stayed with British clients. So I now run a coaching department. That's how we met for a big company in Solihull. So I head up their coaching department, and I have private clients who I work with. I hold workshops all around the country. I spend a month here and a month at home. I alternate months. I basically live on a train. I know it sounds very romantic, but it's not. Very tired all the time. It's wonderful. I'm really proud of what I've built, especially from where it came from. Like I said, I couldn't have dreamt this up. This would have been some imaginary thing.
I mean, I know it, like we're jumping right back, but can we obviously, when you said you used to be a makeup artist, I didn't know
I know, we
that.
haven't covered that yet. Yeah, 25 years.
But how and where were you working and what were you doing then?
So I did some fashion, but I did mostly events and occasions, a lot of weddings, bar mitzvahs, all that stuff. So I got married really young, had kids really young, and I always loved makeup. I trained, I went to uni, and then after uni, I went to Parsons School of Design in New York City for 2 years. And I did 1 year in makeup and another year in kind of like image consulting, styling.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. I fell in love with my teacher, who was my best friend. And he's like, just go do it. So I just, years ago, there was no social media or anything. I just popped up locally. I'm doing this. And that's what I did for 20 years, on and off, pregnant, not pregnant. Rooms of 13 in an hour and a half, faces all over the place. And I adored it. I still love it. Once in a while, I'll do it for friends, their kids getting married, and like, you have to come out of retirement. So I still have my airbrush and my big bag and, all my brushes at home. So it's why I'm so drawn to you, because I love you as a person, and I love the work you're doing. It's so important for people who are talented to know they can use their talent in a business. It's not one or the other. And it's fresh. I wish I had you 20 years ago.
That's what, it's an industry. That's what I love about the beauty industry, because you can just take one element of it and turn it into a whole career, travel the whole world with it. There's not many other careers where you can do that.
Absolutely.
You can just be a nail tech. You can, and as they make that such a huge career, and that's what I love. But I can just imagine you'd still be like,
I was exactly like this. So I always used to say, I do 5% makeup and 95% psychology. I'm having in-laws fighting in the room, the bride's crying. I'm like, okay, we're going to rearrange this now. The grandmother got lost. This is what I did. I said, I could write a book about the stories that I've seen.
I know.
So like I said, I've always been like this. I was like, I could do this as a career.
I know, because you probably, like me, ended up doing weddings and things.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can always remember doing one. And actually the neighbours had gone on holiday, so they'd put all the food for the wedding in there, and then they'd lost the keys for the house, and the cat, they'd locked the cat out as well, which didn't help. But then it ended up being in a big spat, and so I ended up patching up,
of course,
patching up
every relationship,
shiners on the eyes, and God knows what. It was just hilarious.
Yes, I have seen everything, and also you're in the room, you know this. You're invisible, so they'll say things in front of you, not realizing there's another person in the room, and I'm like, do they know that I heard that? Cough.
I know. Yeah, another one I can just always remember. There was a mum decided to iron a wedding dress and put an iron mark right the way through as well. And we're just like, it's one of those oh my God moments. It's just, happy days.
There's not enough hairspray that's going to fix this one. Yeah.
So, obviously, how do you work your time? Half here, half New York kind of thing?
So 95% of my clients are British. So even when I'm home, it's all on Zoom. So I work one-to-one mainly. I'll hold some workshops, things like that. But my in-person hug fests and full days are all based in the UK. I also have clients who fly over for VIP days in New York. If they want to do a New York for a weekend, instead of doing it here, they'll come to New York and we'll do it there, which is always fun.
This episode is brought to you by our amazing sponsor, Forest Salon Software. I'm especially delighted about this partnership because I've known CEO of Forest, Ronan Percival, for over 12 years, and he was also the first guest on this podcast. The Forest story began with a genuine love for the salon industry, and their passion for helping businesses thrive is what makes them such a great synergy and such a great fit for this show. They bring so much energy and enthusiasm to helping and supporting salons. And as part of this partnership, they are offering an exclusive deal for our listeners. It's a huge 50% off Forest Salon software for the first 6 months. It's an incredible saving, especially in today's climate, and a great way for your business to stay focused and strong for 2025 and beyond. If you'd like to take advantage of the offer, simply check out the sign-up link in the show notes, and be sure to mention the podcast when you speak to their fantastic team. And thanks to Forest Software, and now back to our incredible episode. I can always remember when I very first joined Expert Empires, because I'm part of the mastermind, as you know, and I can always remember someone like saying, "Oh, Shari's coming," and I was thinking, I don't know who Shari is, and she said, "You better get some tissues."
Yes.
And I was thinking, tissues? What do we need tissues for?
We joked we have to get either branded tissue packets or we're going to do branded vomit bags. It depends on what kind of workshop. We lock the door, we go very deep, everyone laughs and cries. It's a very different kind of experience.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, over the years, I've worked with lots and lots of different mentors and different things, but you're just on you're one alone, unique, and everyone I've spoken to, like we were just talking earlier on about someone that we both know really well that you worked with years ago. Still, like they're like, "Oh, Shari," it's like
I pay them all, Susan. I'm just fine. They're on my payroll. I just try not to piss people off because the backstabbing that happens in our industry is not fun either. So I don't do the gossip stuff. I see the good in everyone, and I just want to help people. Unfortunately, I don't know how common that is anymore. So I think a lot of people have not such nice things to say. I'm going to stay on the other side of that over here with you.
So everything you do, you talk about the Maverick.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
So it came from, ironically, during my divorce, it was a really rough time and it was a long experience. And I had to go to court a lot. And I was this 33-year-old young mom, scared out of her mind, very overwhelmed by this whole process. Really bad relationship with my ex-husband, unfortunately. So we'd go into the courtroom. They'd keep us on separate floors. It was very dramatic. And I started to get anxiety going into the courthouse. I'd park in the car park, and I'm like, I can't get out of my car. And this was before I knew any of this stuff. I'm like, I've got to find a part of myself that could get up out of this car, even scared. I had no idea at the time that this is what archetypal work is. So I was trying to access something in me. So I went on Pinterest and I made a board of what a woman who wouldn't be scared to walk in there would look like. And she was like the wild woman. I'm not that different. Like wild hair, wolves on the side, war paint on her face. I bought myself a feather bracelet. I had a playlist of music that I listened to on the car ride from home to the courtroom. And I'd get myself into a state where I could do anything. I could protect anyone and I don't have to hurt anyone. I can just be bolder. And it saved my life at the time. So when I started my business, I'm very good at what I do. And I listened to all of the rules of the year-long coaching program. And I came out of the coaching program and I made a pretty website. And I don't know if you've ever seen the first pictures that I will send them to you. You will laugh your head off. Perfect. Like I looked like on the top of a little cake. Big poofy skirt, perfect coat, hair done, lashes on. I looked like a doll. I didn't look like myself. I'm in the snow. I got frostbite on my feet, pictures along a tree like this. My whole website had copy alignment and your future life. What the hell? Who the hell was that? So no New Yorker anywhere to be seen. And weirdly, I popped this website up and I had no clients. I didn't understand why. I wouldn't have trusted myself. It was so perfect and so crafted. And I said, oh my God, I did it again. I lived a Stepford life in my life that didn't fit me. And then I got out and I recreated it in my business because I just listened to what they told me. And I said, I'm not doing this to my life. So I said, I'm either going to do this my way or I'm not going to. And that's when the Maverick was born. So a Maverick is someone who isn't a rebel necessarily. A Maverick sees the world in their own unique lens, out of the box, very individual. Sometimes they walk alone. Sometimes they work with other people. Like this isn't a rebellion against the world. It's just finding your own beat to your drum and using that in life, in business, in like a guiding star to show you where you want to go, where you're not constantly needing everyone else's opinion, checking in if it's okay, hearing everyone else's voice before you hear your own. So my work is all built around helping people unleash that Maverick side of them. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to be as comfortable to walk into a room like this, dressed like this, or loud on a stage, but if you're very geeky, own your geek. If you're quiet and wise, how do you unleash that? Where are your quirks? Like, how do we bring that into who you are as a person and into your business? Because then your business is a reflection of you and it can never not work.
When you did work in New York, did you find that easier to do in New York? Because all I'm thinking is in the UK, we're taught to like be, not step out and.
So the ironic part, Susan, is in New York, I fit in. Not everyone, most people are like me. This is not unique there. I'm not doing this to be unique. This is just who I am. Here, I think the reason why I've been so successful in the UK is because no one else speaks like this. So everyone always says, which is a very big compliment, I'm like a breath of fresh air. It's like Cat in the Hat walks in the room and turns everything upside down because your culture teaches you the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Here, we don't talk about money. We're very humble. In America, we don't have a class system. We have race systems. So here, I'm fascinated by the class thing. Like, oh, I grew up on a council estate. I only drove that car. I'm like, what? You drive a Lamborghini. You're still talking about a council estate. It took me a while to understand the culture. Now that I do, I understand that the generation above us had none of what we have. So your generation in the UK of entrepreneurs, whatever age, it doesn't matter, but this generation of UK, this is a whole new thing, a whole new strategy to look at life and share wins and be excited about things and share excitement out loud. So for me, I love it because it feels new to people in America. And it's not a dig. There are plenty of people there. Everyone and their dog is medicated. Everyone's been to some sort of retreat. They've ran naked in the streets. Like they're good in their minds. They don't change or implement anything, but like they will invest a lot. So it's not, I can't grab him and help him as much. It's more, I'll do the green juice and the yoga and then torture myself or drink too much. Here, I see people who have real potential who just don't know how. Mm-hmm. So it's such a gift for me to get someone before they're jaded about an industry. I can't tell you how many, especially men, will come up, oh, that mindset stuff is woolly and fluffy. Within an hour, they're bawling on me. They've never cried in their life. They have no idea who they are. I love every second of it.
So, when going back, when you was like saying about your first website and everything, so did you have business mentors when you first started?
Oh my God.
Because I can't imagine that they ever did anything for you. And I know I don't. Because
so who I trained with, who was a lovely lady from Connecticut, long flowy blonde hair. She wore long feathers. Our calls were called sister circles.
Oh.
I found a woman in there who was from New Zealand, and we used to like text each other funny things during the class. This is not a crowd for me. They're wonderful if it works for you. I don't really fit in there. So I came out with the certification and with the knowledge that I needed, but all of this stuff that was never going to be, I'm going to hold a container for you and we're going to feel what the spirits want.
Oh, heck.
And I'm like, okay, I swear nonstop, and I will mock you and love you and tough love and hug you all at the same time. I don't really know that I fit in here, but I didn't know any different. And I didn't know, and the other mentors seemed very bro marketing, very masculine. And I was first emerging from my life. Like I'm not a marketer. I'm not a salesperson. I love people. I love helping people. I would do this all for free if I could. So I'm exactly the same. Like, what would you do if you won the lottery? I'm like, help more people and not have to worry about the bills? Like, I'm in. Yeah. So what I find being a maverick and teaching people how to be a maverick, the first piece of this is finding out what you don't want. And unfortunately, most of us have experiences in our life, wrong mentors, wrong partners, wrong messages, wrong choices and careers we've made. We learn so much more from that than if everything was easy and straight. Like I can't believe I'll say this, but I would thank my ex-husband who doesn't speak to me 17 years later because I never would be here if life had not gotten so hard. Yeah. So I think I don't look in terms of good or bad. A maverick just sees things through their lens. So what can I learn from that? How do I bring that into who I want to be? And, oh, crap, that was a big mistake. That was a funny chapter. And loosen some of the glue. It doesn't have to be as hard to get unstuck. I
just always think there's nothing ever goes wrong.
No.
It's just something you've got to learn from it to move on. But the thing is that I know in the work that I do, working with mainly like salon and clinic owners, everyone can tell you what they don't want.
Yes.
But like they can't tell you what
Correct.
they do want. And
Correct.
you probably see this
all day, every day.
bucket loads kind of thing. And it's like,
It's heartbreaking.
because you're going along and you're like thinking, yes, that's, yeah, I want that, but I don't want that. And and then it goes down this, and I'm like, you've gone that way again.
Pages and pages and pages of what they don't want, because what people don't realize, and I hate that it's true, I wish it wasn't, they're way more afraid of success than they are of failure. Failure, we've all had notebooks full of our failures. I could tell you your stories, you could tell me mine, I win, you win, whatever it is. This success thing, if I get it, how am I going to maintain it? How am I going to belong? We're still primal animals at the end of the day. So I don't want to be kicked out of the village tarred and feathered. I'll be successful, but I won't tell anyone. My hardest time of coaching is around Christmas time in this country. I have a client, Susan, who lives in a big, beautiful house up north. He has his old, smaller house that he hosts Christmas in because he could not bring his family to his achievement house because they wouldn't include him anymore. That's heartbreaking to me. They feel like they have to climb into a small hole again to fit in their world because they kind of do all this stuff away from them because they wouldn't get it. Or I'm the only person in my family who ever went to uni, or only person who didn't work in a factory. I'm like, that wouldn't be celebrated is heartbreaking. So this loop of failure, or a little bit but not too much over the top, becomes something that then someone sees a dream or a vision and they immediately squash it to make sure they don't get kicked out. So success is a very scary cage to open. Most people won't walk out of that cage even if we open every door.
But I think a lot of that comes from, and you see this in the online world a lot, don't you, where someone is like, it always starts with the underdog and then they do well.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And they're doing really, really well and everyone's championing them. And then it's as if like they're doing a little bit too well now. And then it's like trying knocking them back down again.
Yeah.
And
who would want that?
Yeah.
Like, look at celebrities. They get brutalized in your newspapers and media. No thanks. I don't want anyone to know my name if that's going to be what it is. I'm not going to be a Beckham, that's for sure.
Is this just a British thing then?
No, Americans are rough like that too. It is more a British thing. I think it happens everywhere because people don't trust success. So they wonder, how'd they get that? Or I see all the time, even in the American market, her husband probably funds it. There's just this jealousy thing, unfortunately, because a lot of the online entrepreneurs make it look success very easy. 10K in 33 seconds. Like, okay, well, I'm probably not going to believe you. And when I don't have it, I'm probably going to be a little pissed off about it. So I think people forget they have their own roads. And when they try to manufacture someone else's journey and it doesn't work for them, they blame that person instead of themselves. Now, I don't think it's a blame thing. I think it's a learning thing. Another thing I shouldn't have done to myself. Where is my own beat of the drum? So I can now go out and look at multiple mentors, and all of my mentors will joke that I've never listened to a word they say. I listen, and then I decide what works for me. And my success is because I implement what works for me. If I implement what you tell me and it works, it's still not mine and I can't continue to do it.
Does everyone get it when you're working with them?
Well, let's put it this way. People who come to me for this know what they're walking into. They crazily chose this on their own. There are people, though, like in Expert Empires in the mastermind that I run, you walked in there, you hired Nick, you didn't know you were getting me. Poor you. It's like in the fine details.
Big bonus.
Thanks. So, ironically, it's like, oh, great, I got the strategy, but I got all the rest of this stuff. So I scare a lot of people, and I know that. I'm very Marmite. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's not a brand. It's just my personality. I am very Marmite. And I warn everyone in the room, I said, go as deep as you possibly can. I'm very kind in my Marmiteness. I'm not rude to anyone, but this is deep work. If you can ask yourself one different question than you would have, ignore the rest of the day. I'm perfectly fine with that. I know that it takes people time to be able to digest all of this differentness, but they're also hungry for it. We wouldn't be spending the kind of money on things and running to the rooms and events and retreats if we didn't want something to change us.
Yeah, I know you're saying that you're very Marmite. I don't find that at all. No, but just not just me. I mean, in the room, I don't think I've ever come across anyone who's said anything even slightly derogative.
I think my work is very Marmite. My personality is very warm and welcoming. So I think, again, I'm not doing it on purpose, but if I would assess it from up here, because I'm a safe person to come to, when I take you to a scary place, you trust me that I've got you. I won't take anyone who's not ready someplace scary. And I use humor a lot by nature. And that helps oh God, I would never ask myself this question. I mean, I've got tree surgeons who've been in the business for 40 years looking at me like, mate, are you really going to ask me that question? I'm like, well, I'll make you cry. Let's just see how fast. So, I know who to use snark with. I know who to go softer with. I'm intuitive with some people. I'm more tough love. So I think I read the room well, and I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable because it's not about me. I want them to feel brave to do the work. I have to make that a safe place for them.
But that's a talent, isn't it? Because, when I speak, it's normally to people from my industry. So we have that commonality straight away.
Yes.
What I found when I go to expert empires, you've got a room full of everyone from different industries.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, from at different stages in their business, different stages in their life. It's like, to manage that kind of room, and you manage it beautifully well. That's a talent. Did that take you a while to do that?
I was a little scared.
Are you constantly?
So
watching?
I think by nature, I'm very maternal. So like if you and I went out to lunch, I would be checking if you were okay. Like my kids will laugh. Like, of course she's like that. I read rooms. I always have. So I'll read who's not okay, even if they don't need me. Even if I'm not in the front of the room, I'll sense it. So I think that part's natural for me. But I had to honestly get over my own fear of who the hell put me in the front of this room? Like, why would anyone believe me? I had to get over that. And my mantra to myself is really, I power people, people power businesses. So people say, why do I have to do this stuff for a business? I said, because if you are not ready for the business, a business, you can't have it.
Yeah.
So I do all the strategy work, but not till I know who the person is and what they want. And people don't teach business like that. So I teach it, I won't say upside down, to me, proper order.
Yeah.
And then the business speaks to us and tells it it's a relationship between the two. I don't believe in balance. I think you've got business. How many people do we know their businesses are soaring and their lives are falling apart? They have no sense of self. And then the business stalls because the team has no leader. Flip side, all the personal development people, and they're not actually doing anything. Everything's a support group. So it's more a scaffold effect of how do we bring both up together so they can at least communicate with each other. So all I do when I'm in the front of that room is feel the communication. Who needs a power up and who needs to take away from their business and ask a question in a different way. So I just do it naturally.
Yeah, because I think a lot in business, it's like it's going straight for the business strategy.
Yes.
And the thing is that although you're not your business, you're the person driving that business, and it's got to be totally aligned to what you want to do. And I think a lot of the time, a business is built on either what someone else is doing, what someone else thinks you should be doing, or just fear of failing quite often as well, and just building something just for the sake of it, rather than like getting back to what's at the core of what you want.
Absolutely. And listen, when we start businesses, we don't always know what we want. So they start almost accidentally, and then it works and we turn into a business. You're like, oh crap, I don't have a strategy, but we're already in motion. What do I do now? I don't want to break what I have to build something better. So people just stay too long in a non-strategic strategy.
Yeah. I mean, it's huge in my industry where, predominantly, and I'm exactly the same. Predominantly, I went to college, trained, left college, then thought I knew it all, and I thought I'd start a business straight away. And then that business, I ended up, because I lost my dad, I realised that business wasn't what I wanted. Went and worked somewhere else, came back in, started another business, but still with really very little business skills. And as I say, it's the same on the management structure in my industry. It's normally someone who's a therapist, they don't want to lose, and they'll make them a manager without the skills or anything like that.
You have a lot of babysitting. There's a lot of cat fighting for a reason. There's not the structure in place, and everyone's so afraid to hurt anyone's feelings that the business suffers even if the people are happy.
Yeah, totally. So you can see how it's like a lot of the time the totally the wrong way around.
Yeah.
So with what you do, obviously, how long does it take when you're working one-to-one with someone? How long does it normally take for them to get it and realize that probably what they've been doing isn't aligned to what they're doing, and they haven't brought their Maverick out.
Yes, faster than you would believe, because people will come to me with all the bravado and all of the successes, and I turned over this and I look at them completely blank. It does not impress me at all. Not because they didn't work hard, but because I can immediately see they're not in it. I'm like, that's great, but how alive do you feel? And then we get instant tears, or, oh God, I don't ask myself questions like that. Or a completely blank look, I don't know what you mean. So within a session or two, I get the truth out because I acknowledge the success. That's all wonderful. Where are we going? And then they don't know where they want to go. They don't know how they're going to get there. And most of the time, they're so terrified of losing what they can walk around with as their achievements that there's nothing behind that front door. It's just, I made this much money. Don't knock on the door. It will fall over. So they'll come because they're ready to have a different conversation. How I get them to have that conversation is really individual, but I'll never push someone when they're not ready to, where they're not ready to go. So if they only want to talk about business at the start, I will ask all of the right questions about identity and all of that within the business. And then so let's say someone says, oh, well, I micromanage everyone and I can't let go of control, which I hear a lot from CEOs. I'm just better at it than everyone, and team is hard and this generation doesn't work hard, the usual. And I said, oh, interesting. Is there anywhere else in your life you do that? And then they go, well, yeah, on my rugby team and with my wife, and in school I did that, and with my family, and I don't speak to my brother and sister. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I just leave it. And you just let the puzzle pieces come apart and say, do you like feeling like that? Who would like feeling like that? Mm-hmm. Where's the first thread we can pull? Work is usually the first thread we can pull because family is loaded and scarier to change. Work, do you want to be a better manager? Of course I do. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, great. So pros and cons of each, and we just dismantle bit by bit. There's no blame. No one got here on purpose. We all are doing the best that we can. So all I want to do is help bring more best out so that they can make better choices. And then they don't constantly need me. I don't want codependency. A lot of clients get used to having support like this, or someone asking these different kind of questions. Shari, I can't live without you. I'm like, of course you could live without me. I love you. And I'm little. So it's like, oh, I'll wear you on my shoulder. Your pocket rocket, everyone calls me. Exactly. So in America, pocket rocket's something very different. So it's always very funny. I've gotten myself into major trouble with British and American nuances. We'll leave that there. But I said, what you're doing is you're using my belief in you as your current self-belief. As we build it, my voice will turn into your voice, and then you'll understand yourself better and you won't need me. I'll always want to hear everything from you, and I want to hear the wins, and I want you to check in. I keep in touch with all of my clients, but it's not because you need me. It's just you're learning to listen differently. So once you can train yourself, I'm here as the vehicle. I will get you to where you want to go, and then you won't need me all the time. Like, no, I always will. And then there's always a day, which I'm proud mama, where I'm like, okay, you could go fly. Get out of the nest. I'll always be here to hug, but go. I don't want someone to think the magic is in me. Yeah. I'm unleashing their Maverick with them.
Yeah. But I think as well, like just when you were talking about that, this is something that's huge in my industry as well, is that, and Nick talks about as well, the £10 tasks, the £100 tasks, the £1,000 tasks. So many like business owners and entrepreneurs get wrapped up in like doing the £10 tasks, the little things that like they don't, in my industry, it's like things like folding the towels and doing the like, going doing the shopping and doing like the things that like
busy work.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see when you point it out to someone and that, in like how much actual time they spend in doing that rather than the things that could make them fly.
Of course. And in the beauty industry especially, it's a beautiful industry and a rare one with this, where the leaders want to be humble so the rest of the team feels they're a team member. So they will go fold the towels. They will sit and make coffee for a customer so that someone doesn't think they think they're too big for their britches. Like then, like we said, there's no management or leadership. It's just, the way I always look at this is, little kids going to play football. Either everyone runs for the ball on the pitch or nobody runs for the ball on the pitch. So everyone's kicking the same towel down the lane in the salon, but it's because they're taught a good leader is very nice to everyone. They go out with everyone. They're friendly. They're not snobby. So you get all these mixed messages from the business world and then the beauty industry, and you don't know who you're supposed to be. And most of them have had some bad bosses. So they want to be the complete opposite of what they were trained under. So they fling all the way the other way and they're terrible in another way, but everyone loves them. So it's a really hard thing to nail because they don't know who they're being. As soon as they do, a lot of this clears up. They'll drop that towel and like, oh my God, what am I doing?
I know I've been doing a lot of work with Marnie Wills, with AI and systemizing things, and that's really, really interesting because like when you actually look at all the things that you shouldn't be doing and don't need to be doing. So yeah, we're revolutionizing the industry.
And it
Marnie
needs
and
it.
I.
Well, listen, you know what? Technology and AI is coming. So if we don't, I think the people who love being in control are going to grip for control even more because they're not going to feel as relevant. So if we do the people side of helping them understand where their strength and genius lies, the efficiency will only be a win. It won't take away their validity in what they do.
But I think there's that guilt as well of like, feeling like you've got to be doing something in a business.
Absolutely.
That you're like, you know, the thing is that taking time away. It's like, oh, you know, and I can always remember as well, I'm over this now. I can always remember when, you know, taking a day off and things. Obviously, I don't work in my clinic now and the team are fantastic at running it. But I can always remember if I had a day off and I was going like into Newcastle shopping, I'd make sure I went to a stationer's and bought some paper or something, like some new pens or something, so I could go back and like, I had to pop into Newcastle for these. Apart from the fact that I went shopping as well. But it was, now when I look back, I like think that's absolutely crazy. But like, I think it was the thing of like, me working while, like them working while I wasn't actually physically in a treatment room. It's madness, absolute madness when you like look back now. But there's, you know, it's happening every day, isn't it?
It takes time. It takes time and it takes knowing who you are and what matters in the business. That is not important. But if you're not sure what matters, you're going to think it's you. Everyone does.
Yeah. Now, I know obviously that there's probably only so much time that you can spend working with people. And this is
Isn't there, Susan? It's on my calendar.
This is leading nicely into something that you just touched on earlier on. I mean, I know, as I say, we're going to do the other episode and go into a lot more detail. But I knew you were doing something exciting. I knew that because I heard little snippets that you were doing something. And can you tell us about your next project?
This is my first announcement, so this feels very exciting. And I'm a terrible secret keeper because I'm always so excited. So what keeps me up at night, other than the jet lag, is that I can't help more people. Because there's a lot of people in the world in pain and confused and lost, and I know they don't have to be. So I wish I could get to everyone. I was going to say reach out and touch everyone, but that sounds creepy. So just get to them and help them. And I've had courses out there. You know, I have courses you could buy from my website. It's all great and it's fine, but it doesn't feel like enough touch point for me. I can't make someone go deep if I'm not. They don't do it. They don't open them. I had a membership for 5 years. Everyone paid £50 a month to sit and watch me ramble for an hour on live once a week. They never open the trainings. They never open the meditations. I have 300 trainings, weekly trainings. No one ever opened them in the back. I could see in the Kartra.
Membership's community though, isn't it?
So exactly. So I was like, I'm not, and it frustrates me because I don't want this to be about me. So I'm like, how do I get in there? So I have 7 books in my head that I have not written yet. Last year I was going to write one and my mom had passed away. So I was like, it's not the year for it. And I have to listen to my crazy brain. I can't teach people to do this and then not listen to my own. So first in my mind came a journal before the book. So I am releasing soon, it's being finished, being designed. It's called The Maverick Way, a field guide to coming undone on purpose. And this is, it's a journal that's filled with stuff. It's not an empty journal where you journal. It's not time bound because I break every rule anyone ever gives me. There are 15 themes and chapters in it. And each one has a little lesson and then crazy exercises. Like think Willy Wonka in a personal development and business book. So funny exercises where we track back where the places you went wrong were, or where the achievements are that you forgot, or how to use anger as a self-growth tool. All the places that we hide, the way I look at humans is we're in this long corridor and there are a lot of doors that are closed. And our past is in one door and our future that we're scared of is in another door. And all of our fears are in another door. And then all of our backstories of who we're proud of when we were little, running around thinking we were in a spaceship, are all locked. And we just go up and down this corridor until we have more access. So the goal of the journal is to start to open the doors to get more of yourself. So my goal in the journal is for people to unleash this Maverick in them on their own terms, on their own time, in a way that feels safe with them. It's really funny. It's really creative. There are QR codes with videos of me in my pajamas on my bed so that they don't feel alone in this, but they're doing their own work. And I'm so excited to put it out in the world because I know that had I had this 15 years ago, I could have saved myself a lot of pain and effort of trying to be like everyone else, which was never going to happen. And I've put so much into it. And we all have the same books on our nightstands. We all read the same things. We watch the same people online. Then we get mad at the same people online and find someone new to follow. And I'm like, why is everyone else listening to everyone but themselves?
Yeah.
So this whole book is to help you hear yourself and trust yourself. Oh, I'm actually awesome. And I've got some bad stuff too. And I'm going to work with all of it. Like this, I don't believe in perfect. I don't believe in waiting. Like, let's just get in there. We're all made of the same magic.
So this journal, is it something you work through or you just dot here and there? Is it like one of those?
So they're going to be the people.
So
they're going to be people who go from chapter 1 to chapter 15 and tick off everything and have their highlighters, which is hilarious because I'm the opposite. How I would use it is open it up and whatever's there you work on. They all tie together, but they're all standalone chapters. And I want to give people permission to choose their own adventure. It's already means you're not up against something. There's not a performance thing with this. Like, this is yours to play with how you want it to play.
I just can't, I can't wait because like I love journaling. And then, you know, you've got like your 5-minute gratitude journals and you've got all the other things. It's just like, there's nothing out there like this, is there?
I actually took the whole book and ran it through ChatGPT. So I use AI as like a sparring partner. I'm so creative, I'll argue with it if I ask it for help because it doesn't think like me, obviously. So when I'm done, I'll run it through because I have to translate my crazy brain for normal people. It's like, did I just overwhelm them? So I put it all into my Claude and Claude came back and said, what on earth is this? I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, yes. So I said, is it okay? It's the greatest thing. There's no obviously my Claude is trained in my tone, so it swore a little bit, but it's like, there's no BS that you have to do this at 3:00 on Tuesday. No, that's not going to happen in my world. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't ask someone to do something that I'll never do.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited and very proud of it.
I'm really excited about
Thank
you. When's it coming out then?
So it is being finished designed. I'm hoping in the next 8 weeks it will be done and out. It could be sooner. It just depends because we're launching it in the US and in the UK.
Yeah.
Ironically, the UK is where I'm launching it first because that's where my market is. But we're just trying to time everything properly so that it all goes.
And is there a wait list?
There is. I have a link where I have a wait list.
So can we put the link into the show notes?
Thank you so much. Yes, we can. And there are bonuses if people pre-order and all of that when the link is ready. So I'm going to be running a live class. There's going to be audios from me. There's probably going to be a companion course. I'm creating a manifesto. It's just going to be, people will have access to my own AI that's named Agent Maverick to go use as a companion, of course. Wait till you see the little cartoon emoji. It's me in like ninja outfit. And so this way you don't feel alone in it. If you need to spar back and forth with something, the AI is trained in the journal and in my tone. So it will be swearing at you and making jokes.
And I'm hoping, I mean, I'm not sure when this is going out, but we're speaking together on the 20th of April in Birmingham at the Business Growth Summit. And I'm going to put the links for that in as well.
Amazing.
But yeah, I can't wait. And
it feels so good. People who I love and respect and value, excited for it means the world to me. So thank you. I really appreciate it. You know, we all have these crazy ideas in our head and we launch them in the world and we don't know if anyone's going to care. And it really means a lot when someone who has been in a room with me understands what will go into that book will help people. It means the world. Thank you.
Because if someone hasn't spent time
Yes.
with you,
Yeah.
they might be a little bit like, I wonder what it's going to be like.
Yes.
But then there's if you Google Shari, there's like plenty of like videos and on your Instagram as well. There's like now there's quite a few videos
Yes.
and things, isn't there, as well?
Yes.
So you can get a feel for Shari beforehand.
Yes.
But yeah, it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This has been brilliant.
I loved every
and
word.
I can't wait for our next episode now.
Me too.